The Seniors Rock Show, presented by the Law Office of Michael Robinson, PC, on News Radio, Wham 1180. The Seniors Rock Show, a lively weekly discussion shining a bright light on aging with fun, entertainment, and important info for all adults. Join in with your comments or questions. Call or text 222-1180 or 1-800-295-1180. Now from the News Radio Wham 1180 studio in downtown Rochester, here's your host, Joanna Palvino.
Good afternoon. That's me. I'm Joanna. And good afternoon to my co-host Mike and producer Pam, too. It's time, guys, for another hour made especially for you. Thanks to the sponsors of Seniors Rock Radio. And that includes Mike and the Law Office of Michael Robinson, our presenting sponsor. So he's here with us every week, and we're really thankful for that. And every week, we try to bring you useful info for this journey that we call aging and remind you that, we're all in it together, all of us. So, things to do out in the community, we also include because, as you age, just like any other time in your life, socializing is good for you. And that's on so many different levels. We've talked about that in shows. We'll do it again. And we hope you'll join us again if you're a new listener. Today, we've got news on a special event that's coming up, and it's going to benefit folks who've suffered from a traumatic brain injury. We're going to hear from Steve Campbell, my new friend, who's recovering from a TBI and who credits the Hickok Center for Brain Injury here in Rochester with supporting him in his recovery. And that's been going on for almost 23 years now. So we'll talk to him soon. And we hope you'll listen to our guest after Steve. That's Dr. Sarah Hodgson. She's an audiologist who is with locally owned Hart Hearing and Balance Centers. They are a family. And I always want to say that when people say a team, I say, they really are a family. But anyway, they welcome people to Hart Hearing and Balance like you are family. So, Mike, I know we're going to get serious here for a minute, and you've got some information to share, and it's about recent news on Medicaid. What's happening?
Yeah, hey Joanna, happy Saturday. And I did want to share some things that came up over the past week. But before I say that, I don't know about where you are, but I think I've seen 3 seasons here so far this morning.
Yeah.
We've had sun, we've had flurries. Pam was saying fog downtown. What a crazy March day.
Yeah, I'll say I love it. It depends on where you are, what's happening.
Right. But yeah, so some interesting things that came up this past week regarding Medicaid. And one of them, as I'm a member of the Monroe County Bar Association's Elder Law Committee. And one of the topics we covered in our meeting this past week was actually fairly disturbing. And it has to do with people who have been qualified for Medicaid. And now the Department of Social Services is seeking to recover large sums of money from them. And specifically, here's what's been happening. So, the general rule is that when you apply for Medicaid coverage of nursing home expense or for coverage of in-home care, as part of the application process, you need to supply evidence of financial records and other evidence of your assets so that the county Medicaid agency can determine whether you qualify financially. But during the public health emergency that was declared because of COVID, and which, by the way, is still in effect, applicants for Medicaid have not had to provide those financial records, and instead they've been able to simply attest to what assets they have and whether they've made any asset transfers in the past 5 years. What apparently has been happening is that some nursing homes have been submitting Medicaid applications for residents without any participation from the individual resident or their family, and they've been attesting that the resident does not have excess resources and has not made any asset transfers in the past 5 years, when in fact the resident does have excess resources and or has transferred assets within the past 5 years.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. And so that fact subsequently is discovered, and now the county wants to get its money back. And so that's been happening. It's been happening downstate. It's been happening here in the Rochester area apparently as well. And obviously, not only is that a huge financial shock for the family, but oftentimes those assets aren't even there anymore. Either way, it is a mess.
Yeah.
So just something to be alert to. And on a related note, recently I read an NPR article about a family that was being pursued by the local Medicaid agency for reimbursement for their deceased mother's Medicaid benefits. And that was being done through a process called estate recovery. And I've talked about estate recovery on this program before. It has to do with the federal law requirement that a local Medicaid agency has to go after a deceased person's assets upon their death, even if those assets were considered exempt during the person's lifetime. And so, once again, a family may have thought that certain assets were protected, and it turns out that they're not, and now the Medicaid agency comes after them after the Medicaid recipient passes away. And Joanna, these are just two more situations. They're another illustration of why you need to seek expert legal counsel when you're looking to qualify for Medicaid benefits to cover long-term care expenses. This is a complicated area of the law, and failing to go about it in exactly the right way can have serious financial consequences.
Absolutely. This is just another reason to look for counsel. And it reminds me, too, we've talked in the past in other shows about anytime you go into a nursing home, you should have some kind of attorney, or you should have a good attorney giving you advice, because otherwise you're just taking the advice of the nursing home. And sometimes they are thinking about themselves. Let's face it, right?
That is true, and and there's just so many ways that people can inadvertently get themselves in trouble. Certainly in the planning process and in the application process, but as you say, even just entering the nursing home, oftentimes if someone's unaware, they don't know what to be alert to in the admission agreement.
Yep.
That can also cause some unwanted financial liability on family members.
Right. You never have to sign anything without an attorney's review. Just remember that, because I think people feel pressured, and especially when you're under that emotional stress of, moving a loved one into a nursing home. A lot of things are happening. And just remember that, you can take your time, breathe, and talk to an attorney.
Yeah, and you bring up people feeling pressured, and that's a very real thing because so often it has taken so much effort to try and find an open bed for a loved one at the nursing
Yes,
home, and now the family's being told, well, you got to sign this agreement or we're going to be giving the bed to someone else,
that's right.
and it puts people in a very difficult position.
Hmm. And folks, Mike Robinson is the law office of Michael Robinson, and he doesn't know this, but I want to congratulate you, Mike. You didn't know I was going to say this, but I wanted to congratulate you on 37 years of practice. And my point in bringing that up is that you know what you're talking about, and it's always wonderful to get good advice from a good attorney, and you are one of them. So thank you for what you do, and for being involved in these agencies and or these organizations that you do. You don't have to be in these organizations, but you do these things so that you stay up on what the new laws are and what the rules are, and so that you can help your clients. So that's terrific. And folks, if you have your own attorney, that's great, but talk to an attorney. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and as we've said before, we're very fortunate in the Rochester area. There are several excellent estate planning and elder law attorneys.
I don't
So
know. Have any of them got 37 years?
some of them probably have even a little more, maybe.
I know. I can
So
think of one in particular. I won't bring up the name.
yeah, but yeah, no, it's so there's really no reason that somebody can't find
Right.
that advice.
That's right. That's right. And it doesn't have to be that many years, just somebody who knows what they're doing. And I'm going to bring up again somebody that specializes in estate planning and wills, way better than someone who's, doing 10 different things.
Nope, I hear the music. We're on our way out to our first break. You're listening to Seniors Rock Radio, and we'll be back with our guest here in just a few minutes on News Radio Wham 1180.
When you've lost movement, flexibility, strength, or balance, traveling a long distance for physical therapy seems like a bad decision. That's why Agape Physical Therapy has a convenient location near you, east side or west side. And there's a new location in Pittsford with Aqua Therapy. Let Agape Physical Therapy and wellness professionals customize a treatment program for you to help you recover quickly. Visit agapephysicaltherapy.com and schedule your free consultation today. No doctor referral needed.
Step, we gaily on we go, heel for heel and toe for toe, arm in arm and row, off from Mari's wedding. Over your ways up and down, bird of green and black and brown, past the cheerleading through the town, all for the sake of Mari. Step, we gaily on we go.
Welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show. Apparently, we're still celebrating St. Patrick's Day here. Was that
And
an Irish
Morrison
song,
and the
Pam?
Chieftains. Yeah.
That's right, the Chieftains. Oh, they're cool. I think they wear kilts. Love that. Anyway, welcome back to the Seniors Rock Show, where everyone is aging and we are celebrating it. I'm Joanna Palvino, your host, and I'm here with co-host, estate planning attorney Mike Robinson. And now we're going to talk about something special coming up. The Hickok Center for Brain Injury is a Rochester nonprofit organization that supports the survivors of brain injury. Without consistent work, brain injury recovery can stall and it can even regress. So this is very important work being done at the Hickok Center. And now I'm pleased to announce that we're being joined by Steve Campbell. He's here to tell us about a special event to benefit the Hickok Center. It's called the 13th Annual Brainwaves event. And I'm going to say right now, welcome, Steve. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Joanna. It is nice to talk to you this afternoon.
It is wonderful to hear your voice.
Yes, and thanks,
Ye-
Steve, for joining us. Can
Yes,
you start by telling our
I'm
listeners why you're supporting this event?
I'm supporting this event mainly because I've been working with the Hickok Center for almost 20 years now, and it's helped me a lot going to Hickok and just have a lot of fun or be around other TBIs like myself. And it's I just really enjoyed it.
And you, is it okay if I mention, Steve, what happened to you in 2000? Do you want to tell the
Definitely.
folks what happened?
Well, I on the very foggy day on a way to a new job I got, I was turning and it looked clear, but I didn't see the truck coming and I got side hit. So I got a TBI myself and
Yeah.
it has totally changed my life and has been hard and I've gotten some good things out of it too. Hard and somewhat easy. Well,
And I think that you're bringing a very positive message to so many people, Steve. And I know you've spoken at different events and you've been on the radio. And I'm so happy that you're joining us today to tell us about this event. And I'm so sorry that you have struggled with these things over the years. And yeah, I just want people to understand that what you're going through and why this is an important event. And you're making that clear. So thank you.
yeah. Well, this having the TBI has totally changed my life, and this group I've been in is, well, like I said before, it's really good place to be, and this is a great fundraiser to help us at the Hickok Center, which is in Rochester. It
Hmm.
needs more money to help, and this is going to help a lot to get that because we need more support.
Yep, well said. And I'm going to just tell folks real quick here what the event, where it is and what's happening. It is at the Hickok Center, or I'm sorry, not at the Hickok Center. It's at the Casa
That
Larga
hot
Vineyards.
dog,
And it right? Yeah. And it's on Sunday,
yeah,
March 26th, and it's from 1 till 4. And while you're supporting brain injury survivors, you're also going to be having fun with friends and listening to music. And like Steve said, being around folks and being social is very important too in his recovery and for everybody. So admission tickets are all inclusive. That's a big deal. For $35 in advance or 40 at the door, you get hors d'oeuvres, you get a beer and wine open bar, you get music by ska band, some ska band it says, and the Hickok Singers. And I have to ask you, Steve, are you a Hickok singer?
I kind of am,
Don't
but
be shy. I know you sing. I know you do.
yeah, I don't know as much music as I need to know for events like this. Maybe
Hmm.
in the future, but
Yeah,
want
you
to
could
come
work on
in
it,
and
right? Well,
sing
listen,
with
folks,
me?
I saw him doing a Metallica song online. So yeah, he might be the next big TikTok,
That was
what do you
fun.
call celebrity?
Well,
So keep
Joanna,
working on it, though. You're doing a good job.
join me? Yeah,
And
That's
we have only a couple minutes. I don't want
yeah,
to get off the subject here, but again, there's a lot that you can have at this event on the 26th. And
six. Yeah,
while you're celebrating, you can also try your luck at some great raffle baskets and prizes. Steve was telling us about,
absolutely.
like a stay at a bed and breakfast. That's a cool prize.
Yes,
Are you going to try to win it?
yeah. There's a bunch of things
Well, I'm going to try
going.
too. So it's you and me.
Yes,
We'll see who wins because I am planning on attending. And thank you, Steve, for inviting
yeah.
me. And I will take you up on that.
Thank you very
so.
much. You'll enjoy it. It's been being held for 13 years now,
That's right.
and it's a lot of fun. And I can get,
Well,
you know,
it sounds like a great event, Steve, and thanks for bringing it
yeah.
to our attention. And good luck with it. I hope it goes well. And folks, again, that's a week from tomorrow, March 26th, from 1 till 4 at Casa Larga Vineyards. Raffles, music, a lot of good food, wine and beer. So enjoy yourself and support a great cause.
Yeah.
And you can meet Steve Campbell there too, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe he'll sing
Yeah.
a song for
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
That
Steve.
was
Have a
lovely.
great rest of your
Thank
weekend.
you
We'll talk
guys
to you
very
soon.
much for letting me on the air
You're very
today.
welcome.
All right, and we'll be back and after the news break with our next guest from Hart Hearing and Balance Center. So stay tuned to Seniors Rock Radio here on News Radio Wham 1180.
Our area's first direct primary care practice, Athena Direct Primary Care and Lifestyle Medicine, is open. Direct primary care is an innovative alternative to traditional corporate-style primary care, where you pay a monthly membership fee. There are no fee-for-service payments, no third-party billing. So less paperwork leaves time for extraordinary direct access to your own private physician, a members-only phone line, and unlimited, unhurried appointments. And other services are included too. That's all for one low rate. Athena Direct Primary Care is accepting new patients for a limited time only. Book your free meet and greet with Dr. Laura Petrescu today. Learn about this wonderful new practice, including membership benefits and the costs, at AthenaDirectCare.com. That's AthenaDirectCare.com. Or you can call. It's 585-662-5510.
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Goo Goo, Radio Gaga. All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio Gaga. Radio was new. Radio, someone still loves you.
And welcome back. You're listening to Seniors Rock Radio. And if we were on television, you could have watched Joanna performing along with the music there. So
Hey, Freddie's good.
there you go. It was good stuff. So anyway, I'm estate planning attorney Mike Robinson here with Joanna Pelvino. And our next guest is expert audiologist Dr. Sarah Hodgson. And Dr. Hodgson joined the Hart Hearing and Balance family and team in November of 2017. A native Rochesterian, Dr. Hodgson feels especially grateful to be serving the hearing needs of her home community. She especially likes improving patients' quality of life and communication with loved ones through amplification. And welcome, Dr. Hodgson. Good to hear you again.
Yeah, thank you for
Welcome.
having me on the show.
Great to have you back. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. How about
Yeah.
you?
Good. We were just talking about how the weather's different in each part of the city. What do you have?
Yeah, well, it was snowing a little earlier. Now the sun's out, so who knows? 2 minutes later,
All right,
could
great.
be
Well,
something
we'll
totally
stick with
different.
the sun. And I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
I wanted
definitely.
to ask you something, doctor. I've been thinking about this. I've seen a lot of ads in the paper. I still get the paper, and in other places, and seen a lot of this over-the-counter hearing aids,
Mhm.
things that are supposedly less expensive but good and all that. Can you clarify what's going on with that? Because it seems like there's a lot of them out there, and I can't imagine that they're as good as custom fit hearing aids.
Yeah, so this is certainly a question that we get asked fairly frequently. In October of 2022, the FDA cleared the path for over-the-counter hearing aids. Now, admittedly, there are very specific criteria for who OTC is appropriate for. It's only for people who are over the age of 18. It's for perceived mild to moderate losses, and certainly not appropriate for anyone who has any medical conditions related to their ears. Um,
Wow.
so, not everyone is going to be a good candidate for over the counter. The
Mhm.
good thing about OTC is it certainly opens up hearing healthcare and makes it more accessible for more people. As we all know, hearing aids are not cheap. And in theory, this was, I think, done with good intention. The problem is it opens up, in my opinion, kind of Pandora's box. Um, OTC aren't cheap either. It's going to vary based on manufacturer, but most of what I've seen, hearing aids that are over the counter can be up to like $1,000, so they're still not cheap. And like I said, I think the issue is that patients, if they don't have a audiologist who can kind of walk them through if they're a good candidate or not, may be either misfit or poorly fit, and that will certainly color their perception for when they do, in fact, need prescription grade hearing aids. And so I guess I would caution any patient who is interested in this, really do your research. Certainly a good idea to have an evaluation by a trained hearing healthcare professional. And if you have any medical conditions related to your ears, you are definitely not a candidate for this.
Yeah, and that's important advice. So just switching things up a little bit, Doctor, can you talk to us about hearing protection, the importance of it, where to get it, who should wear it? I know I can speak personally to the fact that when I was growing up, hearing protection was not an issue, and having spent a lot of time around power equipment and at concerts, there's consequences to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So hearing protection is very, very important. I always tell my patients, you can't control injury, illnesses, or your genetics, but you can control, to an extent, the amount of noise that you're exposed to. You can get hearing protection in various forms, whether it be the squishy plugs that you can get at pretty much any pharmacy. You can also purchase custom-made hearing protection, and most audiologists will offer that as a service. So we actually take an impression of the ear, similar to impressions of your teeth, and it creates a custom fit. My rule of thumb for hearing protection: OSHA, which is the overseeing body related to hearing conservation and noise levels, considers anything in excess of 85 decibels potentially hazardous to your hearing. Now, there's always a caveat to that. I think any audiologist would tell you that 85 decibels is way too loud. OSHA says you can be exposed to that for like 8 hours with, minimal to no impact on your hearing. But every time you go up 3 decibels, the amount of time you can be exposed to that sound is cut in half. And so noise exposure can and does cause hearing loss. It can aggravate tinnitus. And, certainly we know that noise and aging are the two most common causes of sensory neural hearing loss. And so, like I said, being really proactive about protecting your ears is so important because there are other things you really can't control.
Very good. And doctor, we had someone on recently from a physical therapy company. We talked about falls, and I
Hmm.
don't know that people often associate falls and getting tested for their balance at a place like Heart Hearing and Balance Center. So tell us about that. How do you do the balance test?
Yeah. So, we tend, when we think of audiology, we think almost exclusively of hearing, but really, audiologist roles can be dual-fold. We can look at the hearing and vestibular system or balance system. And really, that's the inner ear's primary function is for equilibrium. And so, as an audiologist who, specializes in this, we look specifically at the inner ear's function to determine could that be why someone is falling, why they're dizzy, why they're vertiginous. And we work really closely with primary cares, ears, nose, and throat physicians, physical therapy. Now, we are primarily diagnosticians, meaning we're not necessarily doing the rehab related to this, but it's something that we can help identify what an issue may be so that a patient can then get the care that they need. And it's really cool testing. It's all non-invasive, no poking, no prodding.
You don't have to walk on a
patients
tightrope or anything.
No,
Whoops,
not
there's the
walking a
there's the
tightrope.
music. Well, they're going to take us out with style here, Doctor. And Dr.
Oh,
Sarah
okay.
Hodgson, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back again. And folks, if you want to reach Heart Hearing and Balance, they've got 5 locations, and you can call 585-266-4130 or go to hearthearingbalance.com. Thanks, Dr. Sarah.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. Folks, we'll be right back after this break on News Radio Wham 1180.
Rockvox Recording and Production is Western New York's first purpose-built podcast and live stream studio, featuring Zcam digital cinema cameras, Rode Procaster microphones, and over 25 years of audio and visual production experience. Rockvox also specializes in audiobook production for independent and self-published authors, as well as voiceover recording for radio, TV, film, and telephony. Learn more about our Bushnell's Basin studios and services at rocvox.com or follow us on social media. Mouth off at Rockvox.
And welcome back to Seniors Rock Radio. We're wrapping up another hour, Joanna, and a couple of great guests, and learned about a great event coming up a week from tomorrow to help support people with traumatic brain injury. That's something that sounds like a great time and certainly an important cause. Hey, some interesting things this week. We like to talk a little bit of sports on the show, and of course, March Madness began this week. Did either you or Pam, did you get involved in any brackets?
No. Big shocker.
No, I'm not a basketball gal.
I didn't
not
either.
really
I
a
just
sports
this
gal.
year, things were too busy. I really didn't pay much attention to college basketball, so I didn't either. But I wanted to give another shout out, as I've done the last couple of weeks, to the Hamilton College women's ice hockey team. Last week, I told you that they had made it to the quarterfinals of the NCAA tournament. They won their quarterfinal game, but they lost last night in the semifinals to Amherst, who they've lost to 3 times this year now. But anyway, a great season. They made it to the NESCAC championship game. They made it to the semifinals of the NCAA ice hockey tournament. So again, congratulations to the Hamilton College women's hockey team.
Well, congratulations, ladies.
Yeah. And on the men's side of things with the tournament, boy, yesterday, Fairleigh Dickinson University upset number 1 seeded Purdue. People are saying that's the biggest upset in tournament history.
Wow. I didn't know.
So some action there. And of course, St. Patrick's Day was yesterday, and we all fell down. None of the 3 of us celebrated in any meaningful way. So
I know. It's all right. You can have Mexican on St. Patrick's Day, okay?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we get a little wild here on Seniors Rock. But anyway, yeah, we actually celebrated. We've been having corned beef and cabbage items for like 2 weeks. So,
Oh, well, there you
and we'll
go.
be enjoying it again tomorrow when we celebrate with the St. Patrick's Day Parade Committee for the after party. The Irish like to keep going. We'll be doing this for a while.
There you go.
Anyway, so did you say you got a scam item to talk about?
Oh, yeah, yeah. It came on my phone. It actually just came this morning. So I received a text purportedly from the United States Postal Service
Mm.
telling me that they couldn't deliver my package because my address was wrong and there was a link
Oh boy.
to click on to go after that. Of course, I didn't do that. It was obvious it wasn't really from the post office. But folks, just again, I mean, it's they keep coming at us
Yeah.
with all these different scams, and you just really have to be cautious. If my advice to clients certainly is always, if you don't recognize the number, if you don't recognize the sender, ignore it, because if it really is important or if it really is somebody they're going to follow up with you.
Absolutely. They're just coming at us right and left with texts and emails and phone calls, and it's so annoying. And I want to remind folks that, we've been talking the last couple weeks about the Celebration of Aging luncheon on March 30th, and that is with Jim Kelly as the speaker. And if you don't have your tickets yet, you're not going to get them because it's sold out. So, what I wanted to add now today about lifespan is that I'm looking at a brochure that I have on my desk, and it says it shouldn't hurt to be old. And it's about elder abuse, mistreatment, and neglect. And these scammers are doing just that. And so Lifespan is shining a light on the hidden problem of elder abuse. And you can reach them at 244-8400, along with about 30 other things that they do as far as helping folks aging in the community. Mike, I hear the music.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks again for spending an hour with us. Have a great week. Be well and be kind.
I'm so glad you joined us. Come back again next week, please, so that we can all celebrate. It won't be St. Patrick's Day, but we will be saying Seniors Rock.